Hey guys, so I'm going to make a new series because I haven't posted in a while, so I have to make up something. So this series is going to be called Childhood Memories. So I'm going to talk to you about my childhood memories, the dumb times, the stupid times, the funny times, and we're going to try and make it a series. If this gets a lot of views or likes, and I might just do a part 2. So this is called Childhood Memories. So we're just going to start from the beginning. I was born in Cleveland, so, well, back then it wasn't really ghetto per se. It wasn't really bad with weapons and everything. I lived in Cleveland Heights, so back then it wasn't bad as it is now. I lived in Euclid in Cleveland. It wasn't as bad as it is now. So back when I was living in Cleveland, I went to a Montessori school. I was probably like 2 or 3 preschool Montessori school. And Montessori school is very expensive. And when me and my parents were starting out, we were broke. So I don't know how in the heck that happened, how I was able to get into Montessori school, because that school is very expensive just for one person. So I went to Montessori school. I don't remember much, but I remember having a lot of friends, and they made me do stuff. So one time we were out in the playground playing in the sand, and my friends were it was called the spa in our case. So it was like a spa, and we would, how I say this, get on our bellies, pull down our pants, and put sand in between our butt cracks. And I never did this. I never wanted to. I didn't want the feeling of sand between my butt, so I never did it. But then just one day, and it wasn't girls that were doing it either. It was boys that were putting sand between my butt. So they told me to flip on my back. My belly, and me, if my dumb self does it, and I flip back on my belly, and they pulled on my pants and they put sand in my butt. And it was so retarded. And I wasn't the only one getting this. Don't feel like they're sexually assaulting me, because everybody did it. It was like a thing. If you didn't do it, you were an idiot. If you didn't do it, you were stupid. And if you didn't do it, you were just a loser. So I had to fit in, so I just did it. So I had sand between my butt crack, and I remember going home and getting my butt whooped because of it. I remember going home, pulling down my pants, and my mom, I was 2 at the time, so she had to wipe my butt and everything after I used the bathroom, and she would find sand between my butt, and I got my butt whooping that day. And I never did it again. I just never did it again. I thought it was cool though, so I don't see why she whooped me. I see it now that I'm 14 years old. That, why would I do that? That was retarded. Back then, I thought that it was a thing back then, so I didn't think of anything bad about it. So that's my first memory of Montessori school. Now, my second memory of Montessori school was when we had this bully, and I didn't like her, she didn't like me. And one day, it was the end of the day, everybody was getting picked up by their parents. I got picked up by my granny. I always got picked up by my granny because my mom and dad were always busy. My dad worked 3 jobs. Don't know how he did it. My mom worked a job. So they were always working. So my granny had to always pick me up, and I would just hang out at her house until my mom or dad was able to pick me up. So my granny came to pick me up, and the bully that I was just talking about, I don't remember her name, but she was a bully to me. She would always stare at me like this. And I would just have a problem with that. I just had a problem. Why are you staring at me like that? Do I have something on my face? Was there something on my face that made you have to stare at me with your tongue out like that? I never understood why she had to do that. She always did it every single day, all day. So this specific day, my granny comes to pick me up from Montessori school, and she's just sitting there with her tongue out like this, and frowning at the same time. She's like, so at me, I'm and I'm 2 years old, by the way, or 3, and I'm looking at her like, she's sticking her tongue out at me. Oh my gosh, she's sticking her tongue out at me. So I start chasing her around and just pushing her and stuff. Like, stop sticking your tongue out at me. Stop, stop. But she's running around in a circle as I'm chasing her like, I'm like, stop, stop. And I'm like starting to cry because I was getting real frustrated. So I'm like, stop sticking your tongue out at me. It's not funny. Stop, stop. And I'm like, I'm literally like a toddler. So you can relate. Like, why are you sticking your tongue out at me? That's so mean. So my granny had to separate us, and she took me home. I didn't get my butt whooped, so that was great. My granny never gave me a butt whooping. So this is the last thing that I remember from Montessori school. I remember, when we would take naps, after we would take naps, the big kids that are probably like 6 years old or 5, they weren't really that big. They were like kindergartners. We called it the big kids because we were toddlers, so it makes a difference. So once we were taking a nap, the big kids would be in the other room, and we had the door closed, but we would still hear them. And I can't go to sleep unless it's quiet. Like, it'll have to be quiet. And if you know from if you were in a daycare and you would take a nap, they would play like that music, like, you know what I'm talking about. If you were to take a nap and the people of the daycare would play this music, if you know what I'm talking about, I shouldn't even have to play it for you or explain it. But it has to be completely silent in order for me to fall asleep. So the music will be playing as people are taking naps. I'm asleep, and then the big kids in the other room will be playing with the toys and everything and eating lunch. So they will be completely loud, and they would just be ridiculous. They would be playing with the toys, they'd be smacking on chips and everything, and I just want to go through that door and just be like, stop smacking on them chips. Stop playing with them toys so loud. Stop playing that music. But anyway, so I could not go to sleep at all. So as people are trying to go to sleep, the teachers or the daycare providers will come around and just check to see who's not sleeping. And if you're not sleeping, you'll get in trouble. Oh, keep in mind, this Montessori school is in Cleveland, so it's a lot of blacks in there. So, and all the daycare providers, I remember that they were all black. So I remember not being asleep that day, and the daycare provider would walk around to see who's on their cots not asleep, and I was not asleep. So she picked me up by my arms and told me to go sit in the corner. I felt so violated, y'all. I mean, picked me up by my arms with her big old man arms and threw me out and said, go get in the corner. If I didn't get in that corner, what do you think would happen next? Exactly. So I wouldn't even go test her. I was just gonna go do what I was supposed to do. But I was so mad. Like, it's not my fault. It was so loud. I could hear the big kids playing next door. The flipping music was loud. So really, it was my fault. But you know, I wasn't even gonna test her. I wasn't trying to get myself. You know what I'm saying? So, and she black too. So she probably would have knocked the crap out of me. So that happened. And it happened often because, like, I could never go to sleep. So that's why I always fall asleep at home. So, yeah, that's basically all my childhood memories from Montessori school. If you want me to do another video like this, like from kindergarten or from me moving or something, then I can do that. So all you gotta do is show your support on this video, and I will definitely give it to you. So, peace, guys. See you in the next video.